How's it going, everybody? In this video, we're going to be covering HR 4568, which is the federal attempt to ban body armor here in the US. So real quick, before we jump into this video, I want to thank one of the main supporters of this channel, and that is USCCA. USCCA provides carry insurance for law-abiding citizens like me and you. So if you may be interested in picking up some carry insurance, I'll go ahead and pin a comment down in the comment section and also put a link to USCCA in the details. So I've been seeing a lot of posts and comments, and I've been getting a lot of questions about HR 4568. And HR 4568 is labeled the Responsible Body Armor Possession Act. This was actually introduced to Congress last year in 2019, but it's getting a lot of play and a lot of attention recently. And I think this is because Firearms Policy Coalition has been putting out posts against HR 4568 and the Responsible Body Armor Possession Act. And I think that has gotten this a lot of attention. I actually put out a video comprehensively talking about body armor laws, not just in the state of California, but federally. And I put out that video probably about 2 months ago. So if you're interested in just looking at the laws generally, you can click this tab up here and it'll take you to that. But in that video, I also kind of discussed HR 4568 and the various attempts by the US Congress and various individuals who are anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment, who are now trying to put in place various legislation to not just attack firearms themselves, but extend it to other items like body armor. So the Responsible Body Armor Possession Act may sound like a fluffy thing, but essentially what it is a ban on almost all body armors above a certain classification, and it does grandfather in the possession of the prohibited body armor if you're in possession of it prior to the deadline. But as we've seen, like in the state of California, just because they grandfather in other things isn't a great deal. It's not a huge selling point to me. Essentially, that what it says is, hey, we know we can't take these items away from people who are already in possession of them, so we'll just try to appease them by saying you can keep it, but we're going to prevent anyone new from getting it. So the Responsible Body Armor Possession Act is essentially a ban on what they deem enhanced body armor. So let's talk about what they define as enhanced body armor under this law that they're trying to put in place. They define enhanced body armor as meaning any body armor including helmet, a shield, the ballistic resistance of which meets or exceeds the ballistic performance of Type 3 armor, determined using such standards as the National Institute of Justice, has an effect at the time of which a person purchases, owns, or possesses such armor. So essentially what they're saying is any ballistic vest, helmet, any plates that you have in your plate carriers, if it is above a Type 3 armor that has been classified by the NIJ, then it is considered enhanced body armor and will be banned, and you will not be able to possess it under this law. So for example, I know a lot of people have level 4 armor because they like the ballistic resistance that those type of plates have. But under this, maybe you can still be in possession of those items if you're in possession of them prior to the ban. But if you don't, you will not be able to go out and purchase those because they will exceed and will be defined as enhanced body armor under this language. And with this, they went ahead and added in various penalties for the possession of what is deemed enhanced body armor. And so the penalty attached to having enhanced body armor in violation of this language can be a fine and or up to 10 years imprisonment. So they are including a potential hefty imprisonment attached to this language if you are in possession of what they deem enhanced body armor, essentially any level 4 plates that I know a lot of you probably out there watching this video have. Along with this, of course, like various other legislation pieces that we've seen come out in the past, they exempt people like law enforcement, the alphabet boys that you're very familiar with, and just local law enforcement in general. We've seen this actually on the state of California level all the time. They always exempt law enforcement, but the same thing federally, they always seem to be able to exempt law enforcement officers because they can be trusted with things like body armor, and they should be able to protect their lives and protect their vital organs and stuff like that. And they're at risk, so they need these items, but we're not at risk. We can't be trusted with those. But I, like a lot of you, believe that the Second Amendment is not limited just to firearms like rifles, pistols, and those various items that are attached to a firearm. I believe that the Second Amendment also extends to other things like body armor. And so we have to be really vigilant in keeping our eyes out for legislation like this because it is a backdoor way of them trying to attack our Second Amendment rights. Essentially what they will do with things like this is they will carve out items like, let's say, body armor from the Second Amendment, and then they will start trying to infringe on other things that are connected with the Second Amendment. They would say, well, We've already deemed that maybe body armor isn't attached to the Second Amendment. So then let's start talking about holsters. Well, are holsters connected to the Second Amendment? And then maybe after holsters, they go to magazines, and then maybe they go to ammunition. And slowly and surely, they start creeping their way onto those traditional things that we conceive of as being attached to the Second Amendment. And so it's a really interesting time where they are really pushing for this weird legislation prohibiting body armor, especially when I know a lot of you, and there are a lot of people in the US right now who are going out and actively trying to purchase, maybe even for the first time, body armor because of all of what's going on. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.